Chicago, Illinois. You're watching Big Time Volleyball. This is the AVP on NBC. Now, our championship match on center court from Hacienda Heights, California, at a Pepperdine University in Malibu. Please welcome Troy Tanner. His teammate out of Pacific Palisades, California, via UCLA, the king of the con, Randy Stoklos. And now, the opposition. Out of Carolina, outside of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, the reigning king of the beach, Jose Loiola! And his teammate, the gold medalist out of Pacific Palisades, California, via UCLA, ranked #1 in the world, Kent Steffes! The pinnacle of pro beach volleyball, the AVP on NBC.
Well, the crowd is revved up, and so are we. Chris Marlowe and Paul's capacity crowd on hand. The stadium court is ready. 1 game to 15. Winner takes home $60,000. The losing team takes home $35,000. Troy Tanner set to serve the ball up first. Tanner is 33 years old. He was born on Halloween night in 1963. And Jose Loiola, the high-flying Brazilian, hits the first ball straight down. There is Troy Tanner. Now, Kent Steffes, the Olympic gold medalist, he'll turn 29 years old tomorrow. Born in Ann Arbor, Michigan, lives in Pacific Palisades, California. And Randy Stoklos hits his first ball straight down. Randy Stoklos, now 36 years old, at the end of a brilliant career, one of the great players in beach volleyball history. 122 wins. He's in his 21st year and playing like a young puppy this year. That's good. Steffes over the top and down. And, of course, Jose Loiola, the new king of the beach, as crowned in Las Vegas, Nevada earlier this year. Born on Copacabana Beach, we're told, in Brazil now. Lives and trains in Manhattan Beach. He and Kent Steffes have won 7 out of 10 this year. And we think Stoklos and Tanner must get off to a good start.
Well, in 2 different ways. Sure, they would like to move the scoreboard, but Stoklos knows it as he plays to the crowd. Now, I think the key is stopping the ace attack of Steffes and Loyola. On the year, coming into this tournament, they have 221 aces as a team. By far the best. They average almost 4 aces a game. Tanner and Stoklos have to be able to side out effectively against that weaponry.
Tight action, and Jose Sunderland's one straight down the hatch. That's a big hit. Let's take a look at the Miller Scouting Report on Jose Loiola.
Brought to you by Miller Lite. And how about that just hit? Fabulous physical gifts. You just saw them. Best hitter in the world. Just saw that as well. Didn't see him play a lot of defense in years past because he was blocking all the time. But he can dig. But his main focus and his main weapon is at the net. The only weakness and the key to getting away from him is serve his partner. That's the weakness. And then you get Kent Steffes. Much improved blocking, and because of his ability to jump, he can take away the line with his left hand, as you saw there, but spread block and still get the stuff cross court.
Kent Steffes serving hard, working on Tanner. Expect Tanner to get most of the balls. Steffes can't get there. So Troy Tanner puts it away. Tanner says of Randy Stoklos, his new partner, he is the biggest presence I've ever played with. He's full of confidence. We believe that we can win a tournament, and he doesn't have to worry about his partner anymore coming up with the big play. Tanner now in the upper echelon of AVP players. He wasn't there last year. There he is with a block.
Tanner is a good-sized athlete at 6'4", had a great indoor career, good enough to be an Olympian and win a gold medal back in '88. Not known a lot for his blocking, but now he and Randy Stoklos want to switch up, so they then can be very strong serving. So Troy's got to pull his weight. blocking at the net. Stoklos and Tanner are going to go for it. Randy was telling me earlier, he says, look, I look at the great all-around players, and Steffes and Loyola, neither of them set with their hands. So if we can serve tough and we can serve deep, I think that's when you can get them in trouble.
Here comes Jose Loyola. 1-1 early. Tanner goes and gets it. Stokey pokey. And Jose's got it up. Steffes, not yet. Tanner was there. Here comes Loyola. See you later. Okay, Jose's looking to bury the pelota every time.
Well, came out and took a very hard and very serious warm-up. They haven't played in about 3 hours. Won the winner's bracket first thing this morning. Have probably been resting since 10 o'clock. So a little hard-packed sand. Jose with the ability to jump 40 inches. And he's detonating right now. Steffes setting the ball well.
2-1 is our score. Steffes and Loyola have the lead. And now Troy Tanner will serve it. Troy Tanner is a very sun-sensitive player. He doesn't like the sun. His skin gets red, and sometimes he runs out of gas. But it's perfect weather for him right now. The clouds have obscured the sun. So that should help him down the finish here. Loyola off the net. And that's exactly what Stoklos. And look at Stoklos getting on Loyola.
Stokey's the 4th best blocker on the Miller Lite AVP Tour this season. You talk about presence. When Randy Stoklos was playing with St. John Smith and winning 115 of his 122 events, it was this kind of presence and attitude with his partner, with the opposition, and with the crowd that made him tough to beat.
2-2, early action. Here comes Loyola. He's mad. Oh, and he hit it right to Tanner, and Tanner missed it. One of the problems about moving on defense, Paul, you're not balanced. You can't get that ball up. Tanner should have had that one.
Well, Tanner was looking for the cut shot. He thought Randy could match altitude with Jose Loyola, but Jose changes all the angles because of his ability to jump so high, and he rolled that one over the top of Stoklos.
Pretty good serve there. Tanner with a pretty good set, and Stoklos buries it. He came under the net and collided with Loyola. Incidental contact. And now Randy Stoklos, who used to be one of the ultimate villains with St. John Smith, kind of the crowd favorite, wouldn't you say, Paul?
Time is forgiving, and I called him this last week, the most improved player, the comeback player, and I don't think Randy'd like that. He says, hey, I haven't been anywhere.
Stoklos misses the dig, and the side out to Steffes and Loyola.
That's the one thing that Stoklos and Tanner give up by switching off blocking. Stokey, they'd be a stronger team if Stokey would block all the time. You know, Randy Stoklos can dig the ball, but is not a gifted chaser or a gifted really controller of the ball when it's hit really hard right at him. So it's a team that give up a little defensively.
2-2. Great pass by Tanner. Loyola to Steffes, and Steffes loops it over the top. So Loyola and Steffes take a 3-2 lead. They were on the good side. We'll continue more of the Miller Lite Open at Chicago when we come back. Back at the $300,000 Miller Lite Open at Chicago. Earlier today, the AVP crew with Rodney Grove at the helm, working on Stadium Court. All yesterday, all of this morning, water everywhere, sand blasting, bulldozing. They did a tremendous job. They didn't even let the crowd in until about a half an hour ago, but they have it ready. Let's go over to Bill Walton with a report.
All right, Chris, and just a couple hours ago, it was a real mud pit in here, but they brought in about 50 truckloads of fresh sand from just up the beach a little bit. They did a terrific job, and then it packed it down real hard. Randy Stoklos told me it's a jumper's beach today with a real hard pack. Kent Steffes, he's a little concerned that there's going to be some dugout holes that won't fill in because the sand is so wet. 86 degrees down courtside, Chris. A beautiful, picture-perfect day for volleyball here in Chicago. Chris?
Thank you very much, the ultimate weatherman, Bill Walton, standing by courtside with his reports. Now, Troy Tanner will serve 3-2. We think Tanner and Stoklos are now on the good side. The wind is light, but it is coming from the south in their face.
Yeah, not nearly the factor that it was yesterday. But right away from the good side, Troy Tanner, who really gets unnoticed as a jump server. People think about Brian Lewis and Scott Ackett, Tubby and Loyola and Steffes and even Stoklos, but Tanner has got 81 aces, a very, very dangerous jump serve. His Miller Lite scouting report, a look at the former Olympian. Excellent all-around skills. Certainly a big surprise this season. We talked about him being probably the best player on tour who has not won a tournament, but as you mentioned, can wilt in the heat and always gets the serves at the end of a match. It's got to be key that he side out well throughout, particularly at the end.
And the sun poking through now, so that's not good news for Troy Tanner. Tanner whacks it off the block.
Yeah, but what's going to help Troy, a 3-day tournament. It was relatively cool yesterday. Friday was cool. He did cramp and have to forfeit a final to Jose Loyola and Kent Steffes earlier in the season back in Corpus Christi, Texas. But he's in much better shape right now. I don't think that'll be a problem in this final.
3-3's our score. Loyola over the top, and Stoklos can't get there. Jose Loyola and Kent Steffes are very, very confident. Jose Loyola told me this morning, we don't worry about anybody. They have to worry about us. Kent Steffes said, we think we can win 75 of the next 100 tournaments. And Loyola said, no, 80. So they are ready to go, brimming with confidence. Stoklos tees off.
Well, and also they were very frustrated. Jose told me, he says, look, we gave one away last week. I don't want to take anything away from Dane Blanton and Canyon Seaman. And, you know, they were up 13-11 with 10 seconds left and then ended up losing in overtime. So Jose was very, very focused. I'm sure he and Coach Jim Mingus had a particularly focused and determined week getting ready for the second major of the year.
3-3. Here comes Jose Loyola. And there it goes. That's his favorite shot. Cross-court hard. Much like the ex-Olympian Pat Powers. 5 kills now for Jose Loyola.
You must serve them deep. I think you have to make Steffes and Loyola move. When Canyon Seaman had a lot of success serving last week in the finals in Hermosa, it was because you made Steffes and Loyola move, particularly deep middle.
Stoklos with the bump. Tanner down the line. Nice play, Loyola. Chance for a point. And he gets it.
Tanner was tentative with that swing. Randy Stoklos gave him a clear call of no one, meaning there's no block up, and Troy just tried to loop deep over Jose. As I mentioned, a much underrated defensive player, and so quick, he's able to get back, dig that ball overhand, and then transition because of his great quickness.
Steffes Loyola leading 4-3. That's serve out of bounds.
Well, the people at home, watch for the depth of this serve, and if Jose Loyola and Kent Steffes have to move. If the ball is right in their breadbasket, I don't care if it's 80 miles an hour, it's not a problem. That's too easy. Jose didn't have to move.
And over the top he goes. A great jumping advantage for Jose Loyola. And the side out back to Jose Loyola. 20 career wins on tour. Most of them with Adam Johnson. 7 with Kent Steffes. Comes Stoklos. And Stoklos looking good. You know, I asked him about his age, and he said, yeah, I've got a 36-year-old head, but if you look at his body, he's got a 25-year-old body.
And he's had very, very few injuries throughout the course of his career. Some nicks and, of course, a sore shoulder. But for years, don't forget, St. John Smith got all the serves.
Absolutely.
So, you know, he's got a lot of swings left in that 36 is old out here, 36-year-old shoulder.
40. And they continue to serve Loyola. Do you like that strategy, serving Loyola?
I think you have to serve
you said
tough.
Don't serve him.
Well, I said that was one of the keys to beating them. Okay. Kent Steffes gave up the points just to pinpoint what happened last week.
Okay.
I think you have to go back and forth, but more than anything else, you have to serve areas, deep, deep cross-court corner, deep middle.
Of course, Steffes winning that gold medal with Karch Karai. As Tanner pumps it through, if you're wondering about Karch, had a horrible tournament this weekend. Karch Karai and Adam Johnson finishing 17th. The Miller Lite scouting report on Randy Stoklos. Quickly, Paul.
What has come back for Randy Stoklos? He's playing with attitude again, just like he was when he was winning a lot of tournaments. An impact blocker. You've already seen that, 4th best on the tour.
Chance for point here. Here comes Stokey, and there it goes. And Stokey once again spreading his wings.
A little essay, Stokey attitude for Chicago, but that's important to his game. You have to be your own person on the court. If you try to change, you're just not as sharp, you're not as focused, and Stokey loves to play. And he said he's not going away. He's going to play until he wins another one. It's been since the end of '94 since he's won a tournament.
Delmar Beach, the last Open outside that he won. He did win 2 indoor tournaments in 1995, the last being in Madison Square Garden. But some of the players in the AVP Tour, they really don't count those. They're counted as wins, but not big wins on the beach. 4-4. And double contact. Now, Troy Tanner was a setter in college, a setter on the national team, outside hitter. He sets most of the balls perfectly, but sometimes they come out with funny spin.
Can't make mistakes. This is just kind of a momentum killer. You've been siding out exceptionally well. Good pass by Randy Stoklos. I'll tell you, at the highest levels, they call things tight. Now he's called a mishandled ball.
tell you what, looking at that last replay, I think that was a little lazy on Troy Tanner. He's got to get around and face the set instead of trying to side set. That was a difficult play.
Well, he just got to conjure up a lot of confidence. Sometimes when you're not confident, you look lazy because you're not doing the little things, bending your knees, really getting ready, getting your body involved in setting the ball.
Here comes Steffes going to get a spiky opportunity. They back off, and Steffes pounds it through.
See, the heat of the jump serve at this level just doesn't really matter. You've got to get the ball high up on the left shoulder, high up on the right shoulder, or deep into the corners, as I've mentioned time and again at the beginning of this match. Hitting the ball hard at Steffes and Loyola or Stoklos and Tanner isn't good enough. Got to move it around.
Steffes recognized as the most valuable player on tour last year. Steffes pokes it over and in. Loyola got the soft lock. Steffes whammos it over.
And the first unification, really all the best teams in the world, 8 from the United States, and the 8 AVP teams qualify at the 4 Grand Slams that you see right now, concluding with the Players' Championship in Orlando. Dane Bland and Canyon Seaman, with their win last week at the Hermosa Grand Slam, lead the list. But the 16 top international teams, the 8 top AVP teams, the WPVA, 4s for both men and women, the first true world championships.
Randy Stoklos, Babushki's one in there.
That's a bad service mistake, however, by Kent Steffes and Jose Loyola. They've been getting their points off of Troy Tanner. Off the side change, you've had time to think about it, talk to your coach, Jim Mingus, and come out and make a mistake. And Stokey's playing with a lot of confidence and siding out, although he misses there.
Let's go down to Bill Walton.
All right, Chris, I just talked to both sides during the side change. The sand is absolutely perfect. It's a jumper's beat, so jump server's heaven this afternoon. Randy Stoklos now concerned about his team being on the bad side. Chris.
Okay, Bill. Wind has really let up, and Tanner goes long. So now the biggest lead of the match so far. Loyola and Steffes up 7-4.
Stoklos has got to help Troy here. He's got to move more into the middle of the court. Troy's having to move an awful lot to his right to pass balls, and I think that's hurting his rhythm when he goes ahead and has to go after that ball, but that's just another miss.
Tremendous serving by Jose Loyola. And a sand timeout. We're going to take a quick timeout. We're coming back to the beach here in Chicago. Jose Loyola and Kent Steffes starting to turn up the heat on Stoklos and Tanner. In basketball, Zhang Haisha, the 6'8" Chinese woman for the LA Sparks. Was she awesome? She could bang inside.
Yes, she can.
She could take you to the rack.
She could take almost anybody to the
except Rebecca Lobo on that day.
Or Shaq.
All right, Chris Marlowe. And Paul Sunderland's here also. Bill Walton on hand. Tanner and Stoklos in trouble now. They're trailing 8-4. They're on the bad side to the #1 team in volleyball, Kent Steffes and Jose Loyola.
And Randy Stoklos' partner, Troy Tanner, back to serve. He's the story. He's been giving up all the points. Stoklos has been superb. Troy Tanner has got to pick up his game.
Serving Jose Loyola. He's getting a lot of work out today, and it's off the hands. Loyola putting it through.
Jose Loyola doesn't like playing on hard-packed beaches because he thinks it takes away from his superior jumping ability. He wants to play in deep, soft sand that nobody else can get out of like he can. He thinks when it's really hard-packed, it's an equalizer.
Tanner, pretty good pass there. And put away by Troy Tanner. So Tanner and Stoklos trying to hang on here as Randy goes back to serve. He played the first 5 tournaments of the year with Dave Swadek. The best finish for Stoklos and Swadek was a 3rd at Riviera Beach.
Still no movement from Steffes on the serve receive.
And Steffes going over the top. Steffes and Loyola siding out. Well, this team, Steffes Loyola, compared to Karai and Steffes, certainly it's a team that has a little more emotion.
Well, there's no question about that.
Okay.
I think, you know, Karch has his style. Right. And goodness knows it's been a pretty good style for the last 15 years.
The best.
Jose is different. Tough serve.
Stokey goes and gets it. Here comes Tanner. And Tanner whacks it through. Good set by Stokey.
Troy has had a marvelous summer. 4th-ranked player on tour this year. But right now just needs to dig in. He was in 2 finals last year. This is his 4th this year. He was in 2 in 1994. This is his 8th final, and they've all been just a little bit short.
He says it's been disappointing, but he feels like he's getting closer. He's getting more chances. He's being thought of as a better player. He's getting to more finals. What's wrong with Tanner here, Paul?
Well, he cuffs the ball out of bounds, but I like him taking the chance. You have to be that fine. It's like going up against a great hitter in baseball. You throw the fastball right down the middle of the plate, he's going to take you out of the yard. You have got to hit the black. Our ropes out here are black. You've got to hit the corners and make the great players move and adjust.
Randy Stoklos, beach volleyball's first $1 million man back in 1992. And Jose Loiola is just going right over the top of Tanner. They've served Loiola 10 times, Steffes only 7 times, so Loiola getting a lot more. Hey, he's closing in on $1 million here. I don't think he can get it today. He's got 61, 961. If he wins 30, he'll get it next week. Possibly. And there's going to be another ace for Steffes and Loiola, make it 9-4.
Troy Tanner had received half a dozen serves in a row and was starting to maybe feel a little bit of a groove as his partner, Randy Stoklos. Even with all the experience, you start leaning towards just moving up to get in the setting position. And maybe Loiola caught him leaning just a little bit as he worked in line.
Second ace for Jose Loiola.
Tough ball to hit coming over your head.
Stoklos. Karcho has said that he thought Randy Stoklos was the best back set hitter in beach volleyball. That one was back maybe 10 feet, and he buried it.
Well, a mistake a lot of young players make is that they don't keep the ball far enough in front of them. You really have to judge the trajectory of the ball, and Randy does a marvelous job at getting out of the sand and also keeping the ball way in front of him so he has a lot of leverage and can also snap off different angles.
Tanner and Stoklos need to get going here, trailing 9-4. Loiola tapping it over the top, untouchable. I say serve Steffes. What are you doing?
You got to change it up, but also if they don't get some aces, they can't win. Last week, when Steffes and Loiola looked vulnerable siding out, it was when Dane Blanton and Canyon Seaman really pressured them jump serving. And I don't see that from Tanner and Stoklos right now, because they've been struggling siding out a little bit. You struggle to get possession of the ball. You're hesitant to take so many chances serving.
Stoklos serving, Tanner at the net, 9-4. And once again, Loiola pops it through.
Side out.
It's kind of interesting that Steffes and Loiola have a coach that could suggest a change, but Stoklos and Tanner do not.
Well, Steffes and Loiola make more money.
Okay.
They can afford a coach. Randy and Tanner could as well, but Jim Mingus coaching the team of Steffes and Loiola right now.
And that's off Loiola, out of bounds. Of course, that's a outside look of North Avenue Beach. We've got a skating rink here. They've got just about everything you would like.
President of the Chicago-based Bill Walton fan club.
That's right. Everybody's mad at Bill. Over the top and down goes Kent Steffes.
But it's equal opportunity.
Yes.
They're just as mad at him in Salt Lake City as they are in Chicago.
Why is that, Bill?
I'm not quite sure, Chris. I just report the facts out here.
Okay.
Well, people aren't used to that, Bill.
9-4 is our score.
Come on, man, right here.
Tanner. And Loiola's there. Stokey goes and gets it. Stoklos. Steffes with the dig. Steffes on the net, and Steffes puts it away.
The dig was really good, but I'm not sure that the set wasn't much better. This ball is spinning and spinning, and Jose Loiola got his body behind the ball, was facing his target, used his legs, his arms, everything. And the Brazilian, you talked about chemistry. I'll tell you, Jose gets fired up each and every week.
6-0 run for Kent Steffes and Jose Loiola from a 4-4 tie. They have been doing it with blocking and defense and serving tough. Now, Stoklos and Tanner need to get that point and get back onto the good side.
You see Troy Tanner, though, having to scramble to his right, gets down, gets sandy, has to brush it off, then come back and hit. You just don't see Kent Steffes or Jose Loiola having to move at all to pass the ball.
Steffes. Paul Sunderland says he's got the best line shot in the business, and that was an example of it. Right on the line.
Well, he has all the shots. Hard, deep middle, sharp cross court. Pretty good cut shot. Not among the best on the beach, but he jumps so well. His line, everything is set up off his line shot.
Here's Loiola, 10-4. Great set. And Tanner to Jose. Little knuckle pokey. Jose. So Stoklos is there. Stoklos on the right. Jose with a dig. Looking for the put away. No! Out of bounds.
That was a very tough chance for Stoklos on his offside. He's just trying to hit something deep at Jose Loiola, but again, improving all the time as a defensive player. And should point out that Jim Mingus, as you well know, is a former partner of his, one of the great diggers, particularly overhand in the game. Learning a lot from Mingus.
Here is Troy Tanner. Working on Steffes. Boy, the passing has been immaculate from Steffes Loyola. And Steffes once again pounds it straight down. Kent Steffes has 96 career wins. He's 44 away from overtaking legendary St. John Smith. Smith at 139. I asked Ken about it, and he goes, that's not important to me now. One day it will be down the line, but not important to me now.
In 2 years, it'll be important.
Yes, because he could get there.
Oh, he'll put it out of sight.
Tanner, Kent Steffes, 45 feet in the air, Loyola. Got it! He dribbled it down, and it is a point. We are coming back to North Avenue Beach. Steffes and Loyola turning now, looking great. I'll be back. Troy Tanner and Randy Stoklos having some problems against Kent Steffes and Jose Loyola. 3:09 to play. Loyola and Steffes up 11-4. What can they do?
Well, I'll say it again. Okay. They must serve areas of the court. This is where Stoklos' experience should really take over. Some short serves, some on the sideline. We saw Troy Tanner miss one, but their only chance to get back in this, again, no movement whatsoever from Jose Loyola.
And Steffes,
easy looking side out. Easy looking side out. You watch the other side of the court, and you see Troy Tanner giving up point and then side out for a while because he's having to move and dive to his right and left, whereas Jose Loyola just passes the ball to his partner and then gets on the Brazilian runway for takeoff.
Mike Dodd and Mike Whitmarsh finished third, splitting $27,000 in this Grand Slam event. Here comes Stoklos on the run.
Oh, get a break.
And he puts it away. Let's go down to Bill Walton. Bill?
All right, Chris, I'm here with Jim Mingus, coach of Jose Loyola and Kent Steffes. Jim, what is it that you do as the coach of these two top players?
Well, during the week, I work a lot with Jose, and when I'm at a tournament like this, what I'll do is I'll watch other teams play, try to pick up some tendencies, what they might be doing, and I can pick up some things that Jose or Kent might be doing wrong and then help them win the game.
And you talk to him during the timeouts and the side changes.
I'm only allowed to talk during timeouts and side changes. That's correct.
How many other coaches are there on the Pro Beach Volleyball Tour, Jim, besides yourself?
Well, right now, I'm the only one that's full-time. When we have local tournaments or Hermosa, some of the guys will bring out some guys, but right now, I'm the only one that's full-time.
All right, Jim, thanks so much. Now, what about Chris Marlowe as a beach volleyball player? Was he any good out here?
Marlowe was very good. I played for one summer, and I won 6 tournaments with Chris, and that was 75% of his victories, so how good was he?
Oh, he couldn't win without anybody but you. Let's go back upstairs to Chris Marlowe.
All right, thank you very much, Jim Mingus. Just keep in mind that 43 win total would not be there without the 6 from Marlowe. He'd probably be 13th on that list. Randy Stoklos, Troy Tanner trying to come back. We better send Mingus back to Loyola and Steffes because now they're being challenged by Stoklos and Tanner.
Challenged a little bit. There's Stokey again. He can dig the ball, but he's never going to be mistaken for one of the great chasers on the beach. But teams have different looks. Randy Stoklos has been one of the most dominant blockers, hitters, and jump servers. But now, at a later stage of his career, he wants to split blocking half the time. And he's not going to run down many balls, but he will dig a few.
Here comes Loyola. 11-5. And the put away. Okay. You consider yourself a volleyball expert, a purist who knows the game, one of the best ever, right? If you're Stoklos and Tanner right now, how about sending Stoklos to the net all the time? Well, you're down 11-5. What do you think?
I would send him to the net if they're going to serve Jose Loyola. Okay. I think Troy can match up against Kent. But if you're going to serve Jose, I'd have Stokey matched up against him every time.
There's Stokey, and Stokey gets him! Okay, Stokey. He's got some moves. You know, we're talking a little about bodybuilding in Muscle Beach. Stokey has some pose-down type moves, doesn't he? And the crowd loving it. 11-6. So Stoklos and Tanner creeping now on the good side. Tough serving, helping.
Better deep serve.
Here comes Jose. And Jose rockets one.
So you can't stop that. There's nothing you can do. Marvelous set as well, with good altitude and trajectory and location by Kent Steffes, giving his partner plenty of time to recover from that deep serve.
Kent Steffes has a lot of unnoticed, terrific skills. He's a great bump setter now. He's probably the best coverage man in the business, covering your own spiker. Tanner, Steffes went and got it.
Tight set.
And Stoklos cut shot, nicely done.
Boy, slicing and dicing and making do with a set that was really dying to the net. And Stokey, a very, very important cut shot inside out.
2:12 to go. 11 Sunderland, Bill Walton and 10,000 sun worshippers at one of the great tournaments, the Miller Lite Open at Chicago. Second leg of the Grand Slam, $300,000 in prize money. And this is our championship final. Jose Loiola, Kent Steffes in the dark uniforms. Troy Tanner, Randy Stoklos in the light, 11-6.
That's where Stoklos should, as he did for years when he was playing with Smith, jump serve and then run to the net and block against Jose. Got him once, needed to get a hand on that or try to do something to keep the momentum going.
Good pass by Tanner. And off the hands of Steffes. So Tanner has definitely settled down in terms of serve receive. He and Stoklos doing a much better job of that.
Well, see, Tanner, he's moved over to the right a little bit, getting his body in front of the ball, so then you can run in straight lines. You pass the ball and then just go straight ahead and attack. You got a lot more heat on the ball.
Having a little trouble catching that curveball that was coming in. There's a good serve, and it's an ace for Tanner.
Low to the left outside. You know, that's like Greg Maddox hitting that ball about 6 inches off the plate, and they still give him the called strike. But finally starting to find some soft spots in the serve reception of Steffes and Loyola.
From 11-4, it is now 11-7. Tanner Stoklos trying to catch up. Steffes, and Steffes too tough. Kent Steffes. No, Kent Steffes, you know, he's an avid reader. He's currently working on Machiavelli's Virtue and Plutarch's Lives, reading about Western civilization and Alexander the Great. He loves Alexander the Great, who ruled the world at 20. Does that sound familiar? The ultimate warrior.
He's got a poster of Alexander the Great up on his wall.
There is Kent Steffes. The great, you could say. Stoklos serving, 11-7 down. Here comes Jose, and Jose inside. Do you think Tanner's jumping too early? Could he jump a little later, maybe?
He's trying to jump up with Jose, and that's a mistake because he's not over the net. If he has his hands over the net here, watch if Troy Tanner, he gets up here, his hands are nowhere near. He reaches past the net after the ball is by. You got to penetrate to take away angles and have any chance to block the ball.
11-7. Team in dark ahead. Stoklos. And Stoklos has been untouchable. He has been powerful. He thinks he's playing as well as he did when he was 25 years old. Of course, Stoklos and St. John Smith, the winningest team of all time with 115 victories. Boy, were they smooth then. Tanner serving. Down by 4. Jose, and Stoklos could not get that one. It went by him, off Tanner.
Well, this is when Steffes and Loyola win tournaments, when they're siding out like this. You can see and you can see the weapons that they have. They just keep siding out, good passers, good both setters of the ball, and then they throw in a jump serve. They're the best serving team on the beach. 221 aces coming into this tournament. That's almost 4 a game.
That's more aces in the World Series of Poker.
Except for the ones dealt from below the deck.
Clock is going to be a factor. We have 1:34 to play. Loyola and Steffes 11, Stoklos Tanner 7. That serve into the antenna.
Changing rules this year in the Miller Lite AVP Tour. You have to win by 2. So what Stoklos and Tanner are trying to do right now, down by 4, to force overtime, they've got to get to 11-10. They've got to be within 1.
Steffes and Loyola have already missed 8 serves, so that's not helping them. Here comes Stoklos. Oh, Stoklos tees off. Randy Stoklos. He told me he's got a business project going. He's going to be making some sunglasses in a project with a sunglass maker, and he's going to call them Stokies. And you got your Stokies? And Tanner misses one. So back to Steffes Loyola. Crowd definitely trying to get Tanner and Stoklos. Randy's made some dough along the way, hasn't he, Paul?
Well, and so many great years on tour, 115 of his 122 with Smith, but the last couple of years have been a drought. Again, he hasn't won since '94, and he's been a very frustrated volleyball player. He was with Brian Lewis. Everybody thought that would work. Dubbed the Dream Team by a couple of geniuses with Adam Johnson. That did not work out, so he's been searching for a partner where he can really be competitive with and be motivated every week to continue to come out on tour, and that's happened with...
Nice for Stokey! He says, give it up, Chicago. And now it is 11-8, and Steffes and Loyola have gone dead in the water here.
This is untouchable. That ball is just wide, right on the sideline, and Randy's going to try to conjure up another one.
4-0 run now for Tanner and Stoklos. Loyola got a touch. He got the pinky of Tanner. And Loyola will go back.
Boy, this is just a micro touch. Jose just getting the inside digit from Troy Tanner. That ball was wide.
20 kills now for Loyola, looking for an ace jumper. That's trouble.
That's trouble.
Tanner stumbled. Stokey flippers. Stokey bingos! Stoklos and Tanner. You can see Stoklos has the confidence.
He loves this.
Yes.
This has always been his stage. He absolutely loves this.
Now Tanner serving, 11-8. Tanner, ooh, and he missed it.
On the move again. You know, old rule is if you're going to expect a hard shot, you cannot be moving when the ball is attacked. You have to be stopped and solid, but there's so much court to cover. See, Troy Tanner was pretty well set, and that ball caught him up a little bit higher. That would have been a big dig to get them within 2.
Tanner, Steffes. Oh, Tanner got it up. Stoklos, left hand flipper.
Watch on 2 again.
Steffes, Stoklos is there. Tanner, no, he can't get it. And that is going to be a point. Break time here in Chicago. 50 seconds remain. Loyola and Steffes 5-4.
And Randy Stoklos got within 3 at 11-8 and were scrambling, doing everything they possibly could to keep this play alive. Troy Tanner with the dig, and Randy Stoklos said he didn't cover the court so well and didn't scramble. Now, Kent Steffes is going to go on, too, because you don't want the defense to reform. And look at the marvelous instincts by Stoklos. Troy Tanner was able to make the touch, but just ran out of room. And as things heat up out here, that led to a very important 4-point lead and 12-8 side change advantage for Steffes and Loyola.
47 seconds to go. Loyola and Steffes in control here, looking for another put away and a point, and they get it. Loyola and Steffes now leading 13-8. Let's duck in a couple of other finishers. Dodd and Whitmarsh 3rd. Dane Blanton, Canyon Seaman split $21,000 in 4th. Rob Hydra, Brian Lewis, Ian Clark, Dave Swadek, a good tournament. They both finished 5th. Eric Fenoy, Moana, Brian Ivy, Ricky Ludes, and Jim Nichols get up to get 7th. Some of the finishers here at the Miller Lite Open at Chicago. Troy Tanner, Steffes, yes! Kent Steffes, yes, and Loyola is jacked. Now it is 14-8. Steffes Loyola looking for their first Grand Slam win of the year.
And Steffes says, hey, Troy, look what I found. Just sticks out his left paw, trying to do anything. You got to make a touch. And Jose loved every minute of it.
Big payday on the line, 60 grand, split between 2 players. Steffes serving for the championship, and he serves at 5 feet out of bounds. So maybe Steffes pumped up from that one-arm dig, thinking about it. Ball back to Stoklos and Tanner.
35 seconds left. I mean, barring an absolute miracle by Randy Stoklos, in other words, 3 or 4 aces in a row, right now, time and score very much on the side of Steffes and Loyola.
Clock is running. Here's Loyola. Ball popped up for a moment and out of play. So Kent Steffes and Jose Loyola, who have won 7 of 10, looking for their 8th victory on the year.
Last week in the finals when they lost to Blanton and Seaman, they had their 22-match win streak broken. They've won 27 out of 28 coming into this final. Started off the year winning 3 in a row.
Once again, championship point. 28 seconds to go, and there is a timeout call. We're coming back. North Avenue Beach in Chicago. Loyola Steffes just 1 point away. Kent Steffes and Jose Loyola threatened at 11-8, have turned it on. It is now 14-8, serving for the championship. Here at the Miller Lite Open in Chicago, Stoklos and Tanner trying to hang on, but there's not much time left. Just 23 seconds to go. Not impossible. We did see Adam Johnson serve 2 points, 2 aces in 1 second one time. I believe it was in Grand Haven, Michigan. So stranger things have happened. That was a strange event.
If Tanner and Stoklos come back and win, that would be the strangest thing in the history of beach volleyball.
Coming to the net. Stoklos looking for the quick point. Can't get it. 17 seconds to go.
Yeah, setting the ball high. Steffes and Loyola very, very glad to see. They would have been glad if Stokey dug that ball. They just want to see the clock run right now.
Once again, the Grand Slam event qualifying you for the World Championship of Beach Volleyball that will be held in Westwood, California in September. 12.7 seconds to go, and timeout is taken. So a 14-8 lead. Steffes and Loyola, perhaps a little mad about last week when they let that one get away.
Well, I think that's part of it. I think that's part of it, certainly. WNBA basketball action states for Charlotte and Phoenix coming up right after the AVP on NBC. You're talking about Steffes and Loyola. They made some mistakes at the end of last week, and they're redeeming themselves. They've won. They lost the Bryce Miller Lite Grand Slam last week. They're going to win this one. But they have, like all great teams, like the Chicago Bulls, have the ability to put it. You want sports? And when these two teams met in the finals of the winners bracket, it was 7-7, and then Steffes and Loyola win it 15-8. In this match, it was 6-4, and then Steffes and Loyola just go someplace the other teams right now can't.
Once again, our thanks to Rodney Grove and the AVP crew for clearing the beach and draining the water and getting this court playable on the stadium court.
A team of the week, they're it.
And Rodney's certainly the most valuable player as the head of that team. 10 seconds to go. Stoklos and Tanner going to take another second. This is a very, very good volleyball team, but until they figure out a way to beat Steffes and Loyola, they're going to continue to finish second or below.
Well, Steffes and Loyola, again, have won 61, make it 62 now out of 68 matches all season long. Their winning percentage is 92, 93%, so not many teams have beaten them.
Stoklos kicking the ball on a serve, 2 seconds to go. And this will be the final play. Jose Loyola says, everybody stand up. We're going to win it. And split $60,000. Unless he serves it into the ground, this will do it.
He's going to go for an ace.
And he serves it out of bounds. Still 1.1 seconds to go.
1.1 seconds remaining.
Quick question. Karch Karai and Adam Johnson, a disappointing 17th. Are they together next week?
It depends on the health of Scott Akatubby and the health of Karch Karai.
All right. Our congratulations to Kent Steffes and Jose Loyola. They win the Miller Lite Open here in Chicago. WNBA is coming up next. We hope you enjoyed it. For Bill Walton and Paul Sunderland.